Hello, everyone. Well, we are back every single day. Topic for today is perimenopause Ayurveda. To talk about this, I could not have picked a better speaker in the whole world for that matter. I have Dr. Shah with me. She is one of my friends as well. I can call her that. She is one of the top-notch advocate and expert who has put Ayurveda on the world map. Thank you so much, and I am really honored to have you here.
It's a pleasure, Amita. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. So start with perimenopause first, and then we'll go with within the Indian women context after that.
Sure. So for women, there are some distinct phases in their life of transitions, different natural transitions. One is puberty, menarche. Then if a woman chooses to conceive, there is motherhood. Then there is perimenopause, and then there is menopause. So these are all natural transitions, and these are all phases where different new characteristics will be experienced by the woman. Perimenopause specifically, peri means near about. So perimenopause literally translated means it's the period around menopause. And menopause is the period where the menstruation ceases, estrogen levels fall, and a lot of reproductive hormonal changes have finalized. So the transition period for menopause is considered to be about an year. I mean, the correct definition is no menstruation for 12 months is then designated as the period of menopause. So any period before that leading to this phase of menopause is called perimenopause, and it can vary. It can be a few months, it can be a few years, up to 5 years or even more. So that period is very variable, can depend upon the locality, the ethnicity, various factors, the health of the woman, etc. So that in general is how we can define the period of perimenopause.
So you brought up the ethnic part, right? And that's what the research says. The menopause is different as per ethnicity, culture. So today we want to focus on India, especially because you have been chief medical officer of Ayush. Ayush is the biggest organization in India that advocates Ayurveda.
It's a
Not only
ministry.
it's a ministry, not even Ayurveda, alternative medicine, if people can understand here. So I want to talk about Indian women. The data talks about Indian women, first of all, get menopause at the age of 46, 47, 6 years earlier than normal. Then there's an issue of early menopause. So now, when it comes to Ayurveda, how do you, I mean, it's a very complex topic, I know, and we can't cover it in 10 minutes, but whatever you think you can, in this whole combination of early menopause, Ayurveda, how can Ayurveda come into play?
Well, okay, it's going to be extremely challenging to fit it into just this short time span that we are going to be on the live, but I will try. So Ayurveda is a wisdom science of 5,000 years ago. It started 5,000 years ago, maybe even earlier than that. It has a very different framework of understanding life, understanding health, understanding wellness, understanding illness. This framework is very interesting, very different from Western medicine approach, at the same time, very robust and very time tested. So this framework allows us to understand from the element perspective what is going on in these different phases. So I have to quickly mention the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. Ether is nothing but empty space. Once again, earth, water, fire, air, space, 5 elements. And these 5 elements present in our body in the form of 3 functional entities, which is Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Vata is air, ether, Pitta is fire, water, Kapha is earth, water. Now, if you map what we know from Western medicine perspective about reproductive developments and changes in the body, and in menopause and perimenopause, what's happening, you can correlate very well. So estrogen brings about kapha changes in our body, earth, water. nourishing, building, lubricating. So that is what estrogen brings in our body. Kapha qualities and kapha characteristics. When perimenopause occurs, starts to happen, leading to menopause, vata as an element starts to take over, air ether, which stands for dryness, cold, dryness, and lightness, means less mass. So in India, we know, there could be some geographical influences as well to that part of the world. And this could be absolutely normal, natural. But because even after so many decades of research, we still don't understand why a woman would experience hot flash from the Western understanding of things. But from Ayurveda perspective, it's pitta aggravation, fire aggravation. So similarly, when you talk about early menopause, we have to keep in mind, in addition to whatever the geographical influences might be, topological, what is the topography of that part of the world, soil, nourishment, this genes, and so many other factors. But aside of that, I think it's very well known that Indian women, their overall health is usually towards the poorer side, undernourished, anemic, their overall health index is lower, right? What we call in public health terms as maternal and child health, right? So if you just think from plain common sense, forget about Ayurveda or Western science, whatever. If you don't have enough material in your body, obviously the system that causes bleeding and depletion in the body on a monthly basis, that system senses that lower index of health and recognizes that and wants to shut down this monthly depletion faster than keep it longer. I hope that makes sense. So I think that is, I believe that could be a big factor in this as far as the overall nationwide statistics are concerned. How and why the Indian women go into early menopause. I think the age is 46 or something versus 51 in US, for example. So that could be one of the factors, and that is nationwide. So we are not talking about, something that a person can do. Of course, as I said, if this is the logic, then obviously nourishment, proper self-care, overall self-care, not just physiological self-care, but psychological self-care, physical self-care. So the thing, again, just to conclude this thought process, just like if we have to go hiking, let's say, we prepared for it, right? We are expecting, weather changes, terrain changes, difficulty in, inclination and what incline or whatever. So we anticipate that and we prepare for it. So one big message in this very short session that I want to give to all women, especially women, because women go through much more fluctuations and transitions in their lives compared to men. And they start bleeding after puberty. So there are many more factors in a woman's health graph compared to a man. So thinking of this as a hike that's coming up in their lives. So all the women who have daughters or nieces or any other younger women family members, I think it will help to prepare them mentally and physiologically for this demanding phase in their life that's coming up of about 25, 30, 40 years. And in general, I think, Amita, you will agree that there is there's a very glaring, gaping lack of preparation of women in general for any of these phases. Motherhood is like a big, tsunami that hits. Nobody prepares you for it. Same happens with perimenopause and menopause. Nobody is preparing you for, dear, your life is going to get a big hit after, you start to enter this phase. The mood swings can be crazy. The hot flashes can, impair sleep terribly. So no one prepares you. So I feel the preparation part itself can be extremely beneficial. Just the mental prep of it. And of course, the physiological prep, knowing that the kapha is going to crash because estrogen rapidly, it's like a factory that's about to close, right? So there's no warning for that. So I think if we can prep our women in every which way, and that prep should start very early, pre-puberty. And, in Ayurveda, we say you should even prepare for the conception, cleanse your body and make sure your rasas and, your health, overall health is good before you plan to have a child, conceive a child. So I think the prep should start there. But even if you start whenever you wake up, whenever you can, have this awareness, I think that goes a long way in making that hype. Let's keep the example of the hike in mind. You go unprepared and the hike experience is a certain type, right? Oh my God, I didn't prepare for the weather. I don't have a jacket. It's very cold. Don't be surprised. If you're prepared, the journey is going to be much easier.
I think beautifully explained. This is a quick 10-minute session. I'm just going to ask you last question and then we're going to wrap up because we are going to offer programs, specifically preparation of what Dr. Shah just said on perimenopause, menopause, and beyond. So very complicated topic, but 2-3 tips that you can give to women, how Ayurvedic lifestyle that they can imbibe to help themselves through this journey. 3-4 tips, anything that you can think?
Absolutely. So I think I'll just bring again another sutra from Ayurveda. Ahara, Nidra, Brahmacharya. These are considered to be the 3 cornerstones of health. Ahara is food. You don't have to prepare for perimenopause separately. If at this time, in this live, I just want to focus on, if you're focusing on your overall well-being, your perimenopause, menopause transition will also be smooth. So ahara is food. So if you take care of your nourishment very well throughout your life, that goes a long way. Because if you're, all your dhatus, rasa, rakta, mamsa, meda, asti, macha, shukra, they are in good health, the quantum is good, the quality is good, then your baseline is good. So there is no compromise on food. Every day you can construct a new yourself, new version of yourself, better version of yourself. So pay attention to the food, real, natural, fresh, unaltered. These are all the bullet points I would like you to remember. Nidra, sleep is extremely important. And when you talk about sleep, you're talking about everything else that goes into your psychological well-being, which is stress management, stress mitigation, emotional well-being, happiness quotient, etc. So ahara, food, nidra, sleep. Brahmacharya is not just celibacy. I know it's translated as celibacy, but I like to think of brahmacharya as brahmacharya, discipline. So have some routine in your life. Don't just sleep at 2 o'clock in the, past midnight and then think that, oh, on the weekend I'll sleep longer. We are creatures of rhythm. So having a little bit of a routine and discipline in life goes a long way.
All right. Well, thank you so much. A quick 10 to 15-minute session that we bring on a daily basis to really bring awareness of this stage of a women's life, perimenopause, menopause, and beyond. Last words, you're welcome to share. I know you're part of a lot of councils, a lot of research council. You're welcome to share the amazing work that you're doing.
So I think, again, it's difficult to fit in a small snapshot of time, but my website is myayurved.org. I do consultations worldwide. I am the founder president of 2 nonprofits, and you can look up on my profile. I'm sure, Amita, you'll be sharing that. But right now, I'm actively working on a big mega conference on Ayurveda in Florida, coming up in October. So I would love for people to check that out. ncamusa.org. N as in Nancy, C as in Charlie, A as in America, M as in monkey, usa.org. So National Consortium of Ayurveda Medicine, usa.org. It's open to public. It's open to students. It's open to practitioners, integrated practitioners. So I really invite people to look that up.
Absolutely, and we'll do our best to make it aware to all the people that this is happening. Well, on that note, thank you so much, Dr. Shah, for joining me. To everyone else, keep supporting us. We've started our programs on perimenopause, menopause. So stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you.